Welcome back. I trust you had a good journey. So oftentimes we have these little group discussions after this meditation. Some could be anything really. But I think, the ascension is a good topic, and we're all just chiming in on that earlier. I'll start it off with, of course, Jesus set the example. His life was kind of like an archetype of the soul's journey. The masters say that, at some point we will receive the Holy Spirit, power from on high. We'll go in the desert and be tested. And the desert represents really life, where there is no spirit. It's dry, it's empty. And you're on your own, and you're walking that journey by yourself. And then after those 40 days, you will come back and start your dharma, your mission. And sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it's 30 years, and sometimes it's longer. Whatever it is. And the dharma is really just giving back to life. Giving back to, once you awaken, then you see you have the ability to awaken others. It's built into the awakening. And that part is also an awakening, to know that you can awaken others. And so the Dharma is just going around with a smile, shining your light, sharing your love, sharing your wisdom, your journey. At some point on your journey, you'll be crucified. You'll be thrown under the bus. You'll be betrayed. It's a test to see if you'll remain loyal to the light. It's a test. It's an initiation. Not to turn to hatred for those who are mistreating you. The good news is that you will be resurrected. You'll be found innocent, guiltless, sinless. And after the resurrection, after that event, you'll make your ascension. Now, Jesus's life was full of metaphors, parables, riddles. But the core teaching is in his life, what the soul journey is. The ascension in this example is returning back to source. Having graduated from the school ground of earth, from passing all the tests that this realm has to offer. And in the graduation ceremony, you merge back into the light, into the oneness. I have an ascension chair.
Very few are led to sit in it, though, because it's so powerful.
Inside the chair over there is an ascension crystal, blessed by Serapis Bey. And years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I got a dispensation from Saint Germain that I can create an ascension chair and an atomic accelerator. And so finally that dream, that visual crystallized last year when we got the ascension chair. We have these ceremonies here every once in a while. So that's what I have to share about the ascension. We'll just go around.
Thank you, Dennis. That was a lovely meditation, as always. So my experience, I could spend hours telling you the whole saga, but I will just sort of tell you the highlights. In 2003, I went into oneness non-duality and experienced being one with everything, including the divine, which was absolutely incredible. I mean, you know, where do you go from that, right? Then I went to India, invited by a guru, and I went into a deeper state of samadhi there. And then again, where do you go from all of that? So in January of 2012, I was told that I was going to die in February 13th of the next year. Specific date, February 13th the next year. Okay, I'd had a near-death experience in '89, so you know, I know that all that exists on the other side is unconditional love, thousands of times greater than we can ever imagine. So I'm open to it, right? So on February 12th, I go to sleep, and I just released whatever could stop me from doing whatever was for my highest good on all levels. During the night, I experienced on the Kaza plane, and I work on the Kaza plane every night for something, mostly just to be in the divine flow. And it's called the Kaza plane because we cause things to happen from that. But I wasn't working on causing anything to happen, just being open to whatever was for my highest good and all love. So during the night, I saw what I thought was my being, spirit, soul leaving. I thought, okay, good. I'm dead. That was easy, right? No drama, trauma, just leave during the night. And then I woke up in the morning going, wait a minute. And I was in a state of not being attached to anything. And I mean anything. I wasn't attached to my body. I wasn't attached to my children. I wasn't attached to my business. I had 35,000 students all over the planet at that moment. I wasn't attached to them. And I was in that state. For me, I was like the empty space in the universe. It was very peaceful. It was very serene. It was very divine. There was no action. There was no movement. There was no I was fine. I was just sitting there in bliss. I was doing this in Maui. What a wonderful place to do that, right? So my business manager would come in my room and go, "What are you doing? It's 100 degrees in here." I'm looking out the window. And she'd go, "Have you had anything to eat today?" I don't know. Or she'd come and go, "Okay, you have to write the newsletter. Every month we write a newsletter." "No, I'm really not going to do that." And she'd go, "No, you have to." And I thought, well, why don't you write it to her? So I was in that state for 7.5 months. Now you can imagine people were freaking out. My children were freaking out, but they were grown, but they were freaking out. My business manager is freaking out because her salary is based on me doing something. My friends, are thinking, well, am I partially comatose? And I'm fine. But then after 7.5 months, so September, people are so worried I thought, okay, well, if I'm still in a body, then, this is what I imagine part of it is going to be like on the other side. You know, why am I still in a body if I'm not attached to it whatsoever? And I thought, okay, well, if I still have to be in a body, there must be something I care about. There must be something I can have passion for. Such a hard question. It was just because nothing in me had that answer. And so finally I thought, okay, well, what did I used to care about? What did I used to have passion for? And I'd been divorced for 16 years. And I thought, oh, men. I used to be attached to men. Maybe I could have another relationship. I don't know. That was a big ask from my state. I sent my spirit out in the causal plane to attract my Maui soulmate, and Christy, my business manager, dragged me to an art gallery opening 2 weeks later, and I met him, and we had a relationship, and blah, blah, blah. He's still in Maui. So my ascension experience was one of completely letting go of the ego and completely letting go of the body personality. And it was wonderful, but it's also very different than living in a body where there's more movement. And of course, I continue to have other spiritual experiences after that, but that's my ascension experience. And what do you say to yourself when you wake up in the morning you've ascended? I just don't feel like myself today. That's what I thought when I woke up. And that doesn't mean everybody's ascension experience would be like that. That's just what mine was like.
Very interesting. For most of us, ascension is a daily process. You ascend daily a little bit. And we have these experiences when we meditate or whatever that are, golden glimpses of unity with your God presence. At times you hear directions from your God presence. And it's, the sweetness of love and unbelievable, feeling of love, where you love everyone and everything. Anyway, that's my experience. But anyway, you have those experiences and you have the initiations, these tests. And, maybe these days we don't usually go out to the desert. So you have them a little bit more like on your path. There are tough cycles. People sort of calculate them in astrology. I just keep my eyes open and hope for the best. It happens. You have tough times. And you just have to keep moving, keep one foot in front of the other. And there will be more wonderful experiences of light and love. And you just keep going through the darkness and move into the light. And reading Serapis Bey's book, it's called The Ascension Revelations. He talks about when you make your ascension, you stand on the dais at Luxor, his retreat, the Ascension Retreat above Luxor, Egypt. And the light rises from the base of your spine to your heart, and the light descends from your God presence above, and you are consumed into your God presence. I mean, consumed isn't really the right word. It's enveloped in love with your God presence. And that is the experience of the ascension. You actually transcend this octave and you go into higher octaves permanently. It's a one-way ticket. And when you've made that experience, then you live in higher octaves. And there's a lot in this book. If you want to, what is it? Well, Saint Germain is unusual. He made 2 million right decisions, so he can do a lot of things. So, anyway, that's what I know about the Ascension.
Pass. Ascension, what a fun topic. And thank you for having me here for the first time, Dennis, and for your share and yours as well. I had an experience of the totality of the Godhead. And what it felt like to me was, think of an octopus, and maybe many octopuses kind of stapled together with tentacles in every direction, going all, every conceivable direction. And that it was every tentacle that goes out is like another universe or reality. And when I experienced this totality, it was, obviously ineffable, but I couldn't really go into one tentacle. I was everything. And when I came back, as a little side note, it wasn't like I'm back in this meat suit. It was kind of a slow shifting. And as I came back, it was as if there was a residue of the totality of the Godhead as I was kind of coming back into form. And I remember that it said, kind of looked around in the setting. I was in Colombia in a finca in this ceremony, and it looked around and it was like, okay, they got it. They're doing okay. And that stuck with me. But I'll never forget that feeling of the totality where I can't be you or me or you. It was everything. And that is what I took from that was that's one of the reasons we're here, is to be a Raymond walking around doing stuff, and a Lisa and so forth. And I've been wrestling with that as I read right now the Bhagavad Gita, where it talks about this idea of you get out and you merge with the light and no more of this human stuff. And I kind of have a bone to pick with that, because I'm thinking, well, when you're the totality, you kind of want to come back and be in the meat suit and play and do things. And I get that you want to ascend, but it's like, hey, well, how about enjoy this cookie and this espresso or whatever it is that brings you joy. And for me, I've found that often the magic and the explanations are in these paradoxes and these riddles, and that it is somehow both. You want to come back and have this human experience and do this. At the same time, maybe it's just this journey to get back to it, and then we'll start it all over again from scratch somehow. And I feel lucky, because I feel like we are in this ascension, this awakening. And you talked about you've been doing this for 50 years. For me, it's 10-ish. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting impatient, but others have done it much longer. And yet it does feel like every moment of this is something to be savored. Every iteration is something to be savored. And I had this moment with a spirit guide where it said, okay, we understand what you want, things that, the path and everything. Do you want a sneak peek? Do you want to have an idea of what this ascension looks like and what you're going to look like in 5-10 years? And I said, no, I want it to be a surprise. I want it to unfold. That's the way it should happen. And now I'm like, well, maybe I should have actually taken a peek, because I am so excited about how this will shake out. And, but maybe that's part of this paradox, this duality of this journey, is that it's going to happen exactly as it should. Everything is in alignment, and to just find a way to savor every last morsel of this existence, all these infinite nows, and know that we're all divinely guided, and that where this will go, as you said, it's 1,000 times, it's indescribably almost cooler than what this is. And this is already pretty cool. And that the way this plot unfolds is just absolutely perfect, and to enjoy it as it is.
It's a journey, eh? All the experience starting with Dennis, Lori, Lisa. You were flying too, but you didn't say it. And you, my friend, so they were like triggering salient points in the thread of my life, which I've been going through, and that at the end they were really, really tough then, but I see how they were connecting each other for my own benefit. And it started when I was a child. I remember a winter rainy season in El Salvador. I put one of the cowboy boots I had, which I love them. You know, you always have something like that when you're a child. That is my favorite one, and I put it there. And there was a black widow inside. I told you about that. But now in the context, okay? Now, that wasn't the experience, but now in the context, that, so, okay. And so it put me to the brink of death. Because if I don't reach the hospital of my mother, I was done. But anyway, that was an experience that when I telling you, I recall it. I remember how I felt and how the convulsions of that experience. But anyway, it was a disgrace. For me, it was a negative, for my mother too. But remembering what alchemy is, or what is chemistry, which is fusing of substances and solidifying, and how you purify gold and silver by heating it up, or melting with one substance to another. This is our body. Our body, life experiences, and especially that dramatic ones, if they don't kill you, they are making you solid. Yeah, it's like that. You know, they are making you solid. Yeah, they are making you solid. And then my dreams. In my dreams, I've been having experiences that, of course, they are happening in my body. Because what is the difference between awake life and a dream? You are feeling them. At least I do feel them. It's not only here or wherever it is, but feeling them that, like, for example, confronting fears created by my own self, right? And falling into a abyss or ravine, how they call it, Brother Dennis, the big holes. No. It's like a canyons, you know, you fall, and when you are at the brink of falling, oh, I'm going to break myself. Yeah? But when I start falling, I realize that it's not so hard as when I imagine it. Nevertheless, that was dusting me like that tribes in Africa that they put ash in their faces, and you see the beaming eyes, red eyes like that, you know. So, and then I came into a plane that you can say in another plane of existence, where a shaman lifted me up and said to me, welcome. But in the fall, I got a masker. It's a transparent masker, which he actually fixed it well. So another one, you see? It's not hard as it seems. Okay. The last one, Temescal in Mexico, the sweat lodge, right? With that Mexicans. They were cannibals to me. They tear me in pieces in that ceremony because that is tough. And that's, I call it another death. So there is a transmutation, there is a chemistry, an alchemy going on in all that experiences. And I wouldn't say that this for everybody the same. No, but that is my experience. In which I've been dying. To the old, to get birth to the new. And that reflects in the waking life. So we are ascending all the time. In the waking life, you see it. That happen and the big hits again. But the resistance is different. It's with understanding that we receive them. And I tell you, I can speak for myself that in the moment in time, now, I feel happy, I feel cleansed, I feel full of life in the sense of wanting more life, to live more. I have more control of my negative thoughts, which they are there. You know, they are there. But they don't get me because I am aware of them. And I remember that somebody says, you want to conquer your devils, face them. And when I see, I find the negativity coming to me or whatever, I see it. And it doesn't hold me because I see it. It's not what I want. So they solidify me with that goal that has been created by heating it, cooling it, to be more strong and decisive to what is what you want deeply. Because if you don't follow your heart, it's not the head that is going to guide you. Because it's taking you everywhere, but your heart is the magnet per excellence that will attract and will repel when you are with it. But anyway, this is just my experience entirely. But assumption.
Thank you, Carlos. That was great. Thank you, everybody. Oh, yeah, it's time to go. This went by so fast. We were in a timeless place. So let's just close our eyes one more time to this world and take in that memory of our ascension and that moment where there was only love. There was only light. Thank you, Divine Mother. Thank you, beloved angels that were here today. Thank you, beloved light. So beautiful. Thank you, beloved ascension energy, knowing that we're riding that coil of divine energy as we spin around this universe up to the place beyond the universe. God bless you, everyone. Thank you, everyone online. Sorry, Norman, about the mix-up, the screw-up with the broadcast. I did get it going eventually. I thought I had everything running, but Mercury is retrograde. That's what I'm going to go with. So those people online, there's I posted the first part of the meditation. Wasn't live streamed, but I posted it right away so you can watch it if you want to see that. We'll be broadcasting again tomorrow for the Divine Mother Worship Service and Rosary. That'll be at 7:30 also. And I think we have this Sunday, Reverend Bill McDonald will be here. He's written, I don't know, a mountain of books and everything. He's an amazing healer, blesser. If you haven't met him, I guarantee you will laugh. He's Irish. And it's a way he talks that allows the mind to just kind of like get intrigued. At the same time, the angels come and do something in the room. So it's going to be a very powerful Sunday. It'll be 12 to 2. Come for that. Those of you online, I wouldn't miss it. Good night, everyone.